Hi guys, it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Thursday morning for Paper Pumpkin. Oh, I'm a little taller maybe. My head's cut off. So, we've got some business to attend to first. So in the last month, Paper Pumpkin made a switch from being kind of like its own place, its own website, to now being on the Stampin' Up! Website. So things have changed, like not drastically, but there has been a change. So I'm going to go over that with you to the best of my ability. So we need to go through that, and then of course we have our Paper Pumpkin kit to unbox and create, and then we always need to end with an alternative. So we've got a lot to accomplish. So I'm just gonna dive right in. Well, actually I'm gonna make sure we're live, and then I'll dive right in. All right, it looks like we're good, but let's check it out on YouTube as well. Okay, March Paper Pumpkin, woohoo! All right, we are here. I'm gonna plug this in. Hello, Sherry, thank you so much for joining. All right, we are charged and ready to go. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate when you like and share all of the goodness. It is so wonderful. So thank you for being a part of today's broadcast. And let's start with the business. Not fun. Well, not bad, but okay. So here is my phone, and we are going to go to, good morning, Jean. Jean Terwilliger. All right, let's see here. So Paper Pumpkin is now on StampinUp.com. So you should have a StampinUp.com. Why am I'm like blanking. Account. Wow. Okay. So from your phone or your laptop or tablet, go to log in to your account. So I did that already, so let's just sign out. Okay. So here is the www.stampinup.com. The first slider is, did you know, and this is just at this point in time, this will change. Did you know you can now shop Paper Pumpkin subscriptions in the online store? So great. Now go to the hamburger menu on my phone, which is a Samsung, so it might be different on an Apple phone or your tablet or even your computer. But on my phone, you're going to scroll to the bottom, sign in or create an account. Like I said, it might be somewhere else. On mine, it's the bottom, but basically just look for the person and the sign in. So use your email or whatever information you have that you always sign in for your Stampin' Up. So like when you place orders or anything like that, that's where you're gonna go. So now I'm in. From here, now go to Hi Kelly or Hi whomever you are and go to subscriptions. If you have had a Paper Pumpkin account in the past, you want to claim from paperpumpkin.com. So now remember, we are on stampinup.com. We are not on paperpumpkin.com. But if you have had a Paper Pumpkin subscription in the past, you're going to claim it from paperpumpkin.com. Now, I'm not positive if I have or haven't. I mean, I've had different subscriptions at different email address and all. So like, I'm not sure if I'm going to have one or not. So we cannot find an active or suspended subscription associated with that email. So try a different email. So hopefully, if you have been less involved or less, I have probably had Paper Pumpkin accounts on many different emails. So hopefully yours is very simple and straightforward. You put your email address in, And spoiler alert, I have not actually had a Paper Pumpkin account for the past probably 3-4 years. I've just been in much too busy of a chapter of my life. Also, I've been making them here with you guys for the past probably 2, maybe even. I know, it's terrible and crazy. And I actually just was thinking, okay, so now we're going to make the transition. We're going to go away from paperpumpkin.com. I may as well start now. I wish I would have started when I was in, what's that called? Sale-a-bration. I really should have done that. But I am going to rejoin, so like I'm not going to be taking from somewhere else and pulling it back into stampinup.com from paperpumpkin.com. But anyways, that's just like all this craziness. I am getting to a different stage and point in my life. Actually, I am in a different stage and point in my life where I can more freely have time to be doing things like Paper Pumpkin. So anyways, I will be rejoining, but that is why I don't have one to pull from the past. When you do though, so you're going to put your email address in, you're going to claim it. It's going to send an email from stampinup.com to your email address. So the one that you have, the one that you're taking your subscription from the old Paper Pumpkin platform from, they're going to send you an email, and in that email, you're going to claim your Paper Pumpkin account, and it's going to put it on your stampinup.com account. So that's how it's going to work. That's where you're going to go. It should be pretty simple. There are, of course, always some weirdisms. So if you are having trouble doing that, or you're not understanding it, or it's not happening in an easy, seamless way, you can reach out to Chris. So Christine at cardsbychrisb.com, or you can give her a call to get some help working through that. The other thing I'm going to point out, right now we are in a transitional place. So up until April 15th, we are still on a host code type of system. That is changing and going away. That's why we're leaving this blank as a reminder to talk about it. If you are ordering between now and April 15th, go to cardsbychrisb.com. You will find the host code on the sidebar. So now let's go there. New tab. Oh, that's not. That just so happened to pop up at the exact wrong time. Okay. Plus, Cards by Christine, so cardsbychrisb.com. If you go, okay, so of course it always looks different on a phone. I'm more used to doing this on the computer, but like let's say you go anywhere. The host code, I like to navigate around the events page because there's so many things that I look for on the events page. You'll find it here. Use this host code link when ordering. So you can either go to stampinup.com, host code, or you can enter this just like it would always be written here. Now, after April 15th, there is not going to be host codes anymore. So this placemat that we have down here, this is changing. I literally am in the process of redesigning it. I sent a proof to Chris this morning, so you will see a new one down here. It will be so similar and have the information you need, but basically you just at that point need to make sure that Christine is in your order as your demonstrator, but you will not have a physical host code that you need to put in every time. So just a minor change, but another change that we want to talk about. So I think we've made it through all of the like updates and stuff that we won't need to talk about in the future. But right now we're in the middle of some transitions, so we need to make sure that we're covering all of the bases to make sure that nothing goes awry. Anyways, let's move on from that and start making beautiful cards. So, it's not sealed. Sorry. We actually had to break in and use some of these stamps for something else. So obviously these have been in our possession for a while. There's been lots of spoilers out there. We knew what was in there, so we needed to crack them out to make something. But we haven't made the kit yet. And to be honest with you, by we, I mean Chris did that. I haven't even seen what's in here yet. So it can be a surprise for me, just like it's a surprise for you. Beautiful box. Look at this. This is a keeper. If for nothing else, buy it just for the box. All right. In here, this is, I always use this as my scrap paper. We've got Lost Lagoon as our Stampin' Up! Spot for the month. And this month, there's a bonus stamp set. So you saw I unpacked 2 of them. I'll show you what they are. And this kit, I mean, obviously here in the Hive, go figure, we are a huge fan of bees. We are the Bee Happy Stampers. So this kit is like amazing. I do not know at this exact moment if there are any left. If there are, there is only like onesie twosies. But if you are interested and did not get this before the cutoff, reach out to Christine to see if there are any available at the point that you are watching this. So, look at this. They're so pretty. Let's open it up and see what we're dealing with. Not dealing with, working with, creating with. Okay. So, hello, Mary. Sorry I've kind of been, I hate to say it this way, but ignoring your comment. I had so many, trains of thought that I needed to dock into the station. But thank you so much for joining us from Kansas City, Missouri. I love Kansas City. I had the awesome pleasure of visiting your beautiful city. It might have been 2021 already, so many years ago. Back when I worked at the Children's Museum, we had a conference out there, and that was actually the first conference I went to with the museum. And such a beautiful city, such an incredible children's museum you have there at the Magic House. For those of you that don't know, I worked 5 years at a children's museum. Loved it. I'm a huge advocate for children's museums, and I always will be, even though I don't work there anymore. I love our local children's museum, and I love children's museums as an institution. And I was so tempted when we were in Raleigh. Raleigh has an incredible children's museum as well. It's called the Marbles Children's Museum, and it was literally walking distance away. I do still want to get there sometime. I did not have the opportunity to get there when we were there for on stage, but man, I was so tempted. So there are a lot of really great children's museums around the country, and I had the honor of going to the Magic House when I was there. Of course, I was there for a children's museum conference, so we had to go, and it was incredible. I want to get my boys there. I do want to get my boys to Raleigh as well. That's the thing. Like, when I'm in these cities, I want to check out the children's museums, but really I want to take my kids there, and I'm not usually there with my kids. So I need to figure out how to make travelers out of them. I can't imagine flying with kids. Maybe someday. Anyways, so here we have it. As promised, we're not frozen. No, we're struggling. Are we freezing on your end as well? Let me know if you're watching. I'd love to know if you're having issues or if I'm just, okay, I think we're good. So we have 2 stamp sets. Just about once a year, they have a special kit that is a dual stamp set, and this happens to be the one. So Daisy Daydream We've got, thank you for always being there for me. Enjoy your special day. Wishing you brighter days ahead. Thank you. And sweetest birthday wishes. On the happiest hive side, we have happy birthday and hello. We also have some hexagon graphics and then a larger, more detailed hexagon graphic. We've got some wings, a fat little butterfly, a fat little bee, and then another piece. So like you can stamp those wings on there to color them in. You can stamp this body on there to color that in. So I'm envisioning you would stamp this with black or a dark color. You'd stamp your wings in Lost Lagoon or a bluish tint. And then this piece would be yellow. And you'd have it beautifully filled in. I did freeze. Okay, keep me informed as you run into issues if you're getting freezing or not. And you're welcome, Mary. It is, so from where we are, I remember we flew, but I guess there's a train that gets you down there in 8 or so hours. But it was just a quick, easy flight. It was beautiful. I could probably do it with the boys. And the Magic House is just such a wonderful children's museum for all ages. I mean, obviously I'm going to enjoy it because I was in the profession, but easily aged up to 10, 12, even 14. It was such a cool museum. So I had fun playing there as an adult. I cannot imagine how much fun my kids would have. Also, there's a box elderbug that I just lost. All right. Well, if you see me take a pause, it's probably to squish it. But anyways, we're back. Okay, so those are the stamps. Then here are the cards. We have a daisy card with kind of like a spotlight. Okay, they're all daisy cards. So we'll call that the spotlight card. This is the blue card, and that's the other one. And I love them all. And now I can't stop thinking about the box elderbug. It was crawling around. I'm scared. I'm not afraid of bugs, but I guess not knowing where it is what's scary to me. Okay, well, we're just gonna stop. We're gonna not think about it. So I'm gonna put that there. Trying to make the most amount of room possible, because I never have enough room when I'm working on my kids. Okay, so now we need to unpack and see what we've got. So we have glue dots. We have dimensional strips and mini dimensionals. So those are the things that we get to craft with today. Oh, I was saying earlier about how at this point Chris may or may not have ones left. But there is a refill kit. So regardless of whether or not you got this awesome kit, you can always order the refill. Now, a refill kit does not come with the stamps. And of course, this time we got 2 beautiful stamps. But you get in the refill kit, so this is 3 designs of 3 each. So you can still make the 9 cards, and all it looks like, so we've got some stamping of the hexagons here, but for the most part, it's stamping sentiments that this card set is. So you could always find your own sentiments if you didn't get an opportunity to get the full kit that comes with the stamps, and then of course you just won't have the texture of the stamps there. But that's an awesome, and also not only do you get the cards, you get the envelopes, so it's really a great deal. New Children's Immersive Museum, the Rabbit Hole. Wow. Okay, so now I really need to get the boys there. Okay, let's see what we've got in this kit besides the adhesives, which is the only thing I unpacked so far. Oh, getting ahead of myself. Okay, so here we have envelopes. Got 3 different envelope designs. If you've done this with me before, you know this is where my alternatives start to percolate. Oh, I was like, I'm missing an envelope. No, you're not. You're just not unpacked appropriately. Okay, so there are your 3 different envelope designs. Here is one card base. Vellum! Laser cut vellum, you guys. I love, 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 love vellum. So this is exciting. This piece also could be a really beautiful piece to use for a card. You know, if you want to think outside the box. Okay, then we have this blue base. Here is the peekaboo, and this has UV accents. Wow, that's cool. I don't know if you can see that. So it's not on all of them. About half of them though. Very cool. May as well punch it out while I'm at it. Okay. And then our final card base has some texture, and it's that very light yellow tone. Wow, these are so pretty. You guys, I am a sucker for laser cut elements, and spoiler alert, I got myself a laser cutter. I haven't been able to figure out how to get it set up yet though. So I have, while I'm punching these out, let me tell you a story. I have not had internet since January 1st. So we are knocking on a full 3 months without internet. I finally, this morning on the way here, got some more thorough answers. So basically, I signed up to get fiber internet, which is coming to the Holy Land. Very, very exciting. And that was last fall, and they came out and surveyed where the line would go, and then said they'd be back in about 2 weeks to bore the line, and then nothing happened. I understand, I get it. We, A, have a lot of people who are trying to get it, so they have a lot of work to do. And B, it got cold, so the ground froze and they couldn't come out to do it. But the lack of communication, I think, is what is not working the best for me. Okay, then we have 3 circles with this kind of like bokeh photogenic green background. Very pretty. So anyways, at the same time, the internet that I was getting, the wireless internet, so it was a one-man shop and it was his side job. He decided he was going to close up shop because, you know, fiber, there's no way he can compete with fiber. And, you know, it was just a side gig kind of thing that he did, and he was kind of just doing it to provide access to the Holy Land with high-speed internet when we didn't have options. So that was, you know, he'd done it for the last probably 15 years, and it was great and so helpful, but now that there were options, he didn't really need to do it anymore, and it was, you know, a lot of stress and extra work for him. So he had sent a letter saying, you know, we are going to cease services on December 31st. So it's like I knew that it was happening, but at the same time, I was under the guise that the fiber was going to get in and be installed before the end of the year, because that was what the intention was. So anyways, long story short, I have not had internet for 3 months, and it is very hard to do anything in this day and age without internet. And you really learn how many things are based on the internet when you don't have it. Fortunately, I've been able to use my hotspot on my phone for necessities like working and, I don't know, trying to do the minimal amount of things that you need to do. But it's really, really, really been a challenge. And my poor kiddos, I mean, their lives are integrated in the internet. Now, it's not a bad thing to have a break from the internet, but it is tough because they don't understand what's happening or why one day we had it and the next day it was just gone. And they have internet at their dad's house, so now my house is boring. But I'm really proud of them. They've done a good job navigating, finding other things to do, and really being good spirits about it. But it's time. So many, like, we don't even have TV right now because all of our TV basically is from streaming services. We don't even have that many streaming services, but it's hard. It's hard and it's a lot. So getting excited, I have not told them that there's potentially in the next week or few weeks we'll be getting it back. But yeah, so there was my story for while I was punching. Okay. And then, of course, we still have banners to stamp our sentiments on, but it is easiest to stamp while they are still on the sheets. So that is all of the contents. On the back here, we've got supplies for 9 cards and 9 envelopes, and then the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are Basic Black, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Lemon Lime Twist, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Soft Seafoam, and Fairy Vanilla. Beautiful color schemes. I'm a fan. And then, of course, we also have our Keep the Craft Party Going, the add-ons for this month. Well, this quarter, I should say. So I think that's January, February, March. So yep, we did this last month. This was the first month, the January Valentine type thing. So this is the last die that corresponds to this quarter's worth of paper pumpkins. We've got the little honeycomb like this, and then the bee. Super cute. Available while supplies last. I'm gonna see. I think it is still available. Spring is in the Air dies. Those are $12. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so we have Daisy Daydream Paper Pumpkin Refill, $12 for all 9 cards. We also have several die sets available. We have Hello Spring Paper Pumpkin Refill, so that's the one we did last week. And then we've got a couple other refills available. So always good to check out the online store every once in a while. One thing to note, the Paper Pumpkin Refills, past kits, and add-ons are only available for Paper Pumpkin subscribers. So just something, a little caveat I like to mention. Okay. Well, now that we are unpacked, I think it's time to get at it. The first card we are going to do is the blue card. So let's move this out of the way. Bring our stamps in. Okay, so we are going to take our card front and burnish it. Then enjoy your special day is our sentiment. So this is the stamp set that corresponds with, in the past, I feel like not all the stamps were used, but we're going to be using stamps from both of the kits, it appears as though, because for this card we're going to be using that stamp with the honeycombs and then the Enjoy Your Special Days with the other kit. So very great. Enjoy your special day. So we're going to grab that stamp. This was one of the stamps that Chris used in her class, so I don't need to kind of condition it like I like to do. I like to make sure that I stamp off the stickiness, but this stamp has already been used, so we don't need to do that. But I do need to find the banners, and the Enjoy Your Special Day goes on the banner with all the curvy edges. So, open up your stamp pad. Now, if you have your own stamp pads, you are probably familiar. I like to bring in my own stamp pad because they are foam pads and they have a larger stamping surface. But if you don't have all the colors or this particular color, or you know what, if you don't have any colors, that is not a necessity. Of course, every kit does come with a Stampin' Spot. So these kits are completely self-contained. You do not need any additional supplies. And also, fun fact, the Stampin' Spots are guaranteed not to duplicate in a 12-month time period. So, great way to build up your ink collection with some Stampin' Spots. Okay, Stampin' Up! Does typically try to give an extra every time there's a piece that is used for stamping. Lo and behold, I always seem to use the extra, because like this one, it's not terrible, but I got a little bit of a shadow. I must have rocked the stamp a little bit. So I'm just not going to use that one because I do have an extra. Also, these are just white, so if I were to have made an additional mistake, I could have always flipped it over and done it on the back side. Now, when I punch these out, I don't always, but I try to trim the spot where, so it's laser cut, so it's a part of the paper. There's a small little point where it was attached to the master paper, and it just looks a little neater if you trim that off. It's not the end of the world, but I do like to do that. Okay. Good morning, Marilyn. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, now I got the banners done. Now I'm going to stamp the honeycombs. Oops. Now, this is just to make a texture on the background, and there is a diagram that shows the suggested placement, but it is just that. It's suggested, so you don't need to worry if it's not exactly. Alabama! Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, make sure that your seam is at the top of your card, although, again, we're just kind of stamping for texture, so if you had to flip it over at this point, we'd still be safe. Let's see here. Oh, there I did the little squishy stamp again. So this is relatively the placement that I stamped for the honeycombs. the next thing is adhering your sentiment. The suggestion is to use the suggestion is to use the glue dots that came with the kit. However, another unique thing about me is I do enjoy using liquid glue, and because I have it in my crafting arsenal, I will opt to use that. Adhesive is very much a personal preference. I like liquid glue because I like to have the ability to kind of wiggle it a little bit until it's dried. With liquid glue, you have maybe like a 10-second cure time, and I like being able to move things around until I know that I like where it's at, especially when I'm filming, because the way it looks at the angle that I'm viewing it at is sometimes very much off-centered or cocked a little bit, and then I draw my eyes up and look at the screen in front of me, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's really crooked, and then I kind of shimmy it before it dries. So that's part of my personal preference. Okay, then we are going to grab 1B, 2 of the UV honeycombs, and then the floral die cut pieces. I need 2 of them. Okay, so go ahead and flip the daisies over. We are going to adhere the honeycombs . And then we're also putting dimensionals on the back. So we're going to kind of double team this. So the dimensionals are going to serve as something to hold up the card on the, or to hold up the daisies on the card, but they're also going to be what holds the honeycombs on the back of the daisies. So we're going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of this daisy, 1 on the middle piece, and then 2 on this one as well. So we'll do the same down here. And then we can take the dimensional backs off and layer on the hexagons. Dimensional backs go straight into the garbage. Little tip for you. Tip that everyone knows. Okay, so the greenage is going to be towards the middle, so the flowers are kind of creating a frame, and then we are going to turn our hexagons to fill in this area and then this area. Again, I feel as though there's probably no true rhyme or reason or like right or wrong place to put it. We'll find out when we flip it over, because we for sure need it to be on the card, but other than that, I think beyond it being on the card, there's really no wrong way to do it. Then we're going to flip our daisy frame over. Now, the greenage kind of overlaps the banner. Hover it in place and stick it down, and then do the same with the bottom piece. Then you can go ahead and take the B, and the B sticks on in that general vicinity. You can either use a glue dot as advised, or go ahead and grab your liquid glue or any adhesive of your choice. And the B is going to go roughly in this area. Now, The bee's butt is kind of hanging off in no man's land. So you could go ahead and grab an additional dimensional and put that behind its booty so it doesn't sag. No one wants a saggy booty. And you can also lift up the bumblebee's wings if you would like. I'm going to then bring in my Stella and put just a smidgen of Stella on the bee's wings. And call that good. So that is card number 1. Enjoy your special day. Very, very pretty. Move that off to the side and we can move on to card number 2. This is the Spotlight card. Okay, so thank you for always being there for me. That is our sentiment. We are again using a rounded sentiment frame, but this one does have a peaky corner, whereas the last one just had all rounded features. Okay. Thank you for always being there for me. This stamp has not yet been used, so I am going to go ahead and grab something to stamp some of that stickiness off. Hi, Mom! You found me! Mom was saying how, I don't know if it was last week or Tuesday, she was trying to find my kit class and couldn't find it, so she found me today. Okay, Mom, thank you for always being there for me. All right, so go ahead, hover over your banner. This font is very scripty, which is beautiful, but you need to take into mind when you are stamping it that the ascenders go up and the descenders go down. So like the H and the K and the L go up and then the G. So always hover. Hi, Suzanne. Always hover over your banner before you stick it down to make sure that all the little pieces are on. It's one of the beautiful things about photopolymer stamps. Yes, you can still make a mistake, but it is a lot easier. Okay. I have this tendency of stamping closer to the baseline. So before I stamped the first one, I had the bottom or the descender of the G hanging down. So I was kind of just giving a PSA for my own self. Again, there is an extra, so the one that turns out the least good can hit the scrap bin. Go ahead, clean up your stamp. Put that away. Okay. Little trimming. Again, only if you... Okay. Then we need the spotlight piece, the nature-y piece. We need the light yellow card base. Go ahead, fold that and burnish it. Oh my gosh, there's a cat over there. I was like, what was that noise? Oh, I never found my bug friend. Maybe the cat ate it. Okay. So, we also need our individual daisy sprig. Ooh, and our vellum. So many beautiful things on this card. Okay, so we are going to adhere this piece using our dimensional strips. So we've got one strip along the bottom, one strip along the left side, and one strip along the top. I don't want it to sag. I am a huge fan of things having the appropriate amount of adhesive. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There does appear to be an extra or several extras, but also you can just go ahead and trim the edges of this. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to cut this into smaller pieces. So I'm going to put a little extra support here, a little extra support here, and then I'm also going to cut this one more time and put a little piece here and a little piece here. I just like things to feel secure and to not have the opportunity to kind of sag, especially when you put it in the mail and it goes through all those machines, and it just, cards go through a lot of work to get to you. Okay, so once you have all of the backers off, go ahead, flip it over. Again, do your best to center this. I'm gonna stand up. There's a real thin little border. And then push down in all of the places that we put adhesive. Then grab your circle. You can either use the glue dots that came with the kit, or of course you can use any type of adhesive that you prefer. If I had to guess, there's no real way that this goes. It appears as though the dark portion goes off to the left in their sample, if you want to do it exactly like they did. And by that, it would have even been rotated. Mine's not exactly like theirs. Okay. Then we are going to flip over our daisy. We are going to put one dimensional in the center of each of the daisies. Be very careful, these spines are very thin. And then a glue dot, again, or liquid glue, down on the leaves. The intention here was just to put glue on that leaf, but again, I am a fan of adhesive, so I'm going to add just a little additional. But it is important to note that you don't want it to go up into this region because that is in the dimensional zone. So just keep that in mind. Take the backs off of your dimensionals, flip it over, and now this is going to go centered in the highlight area. So pretty. We also have a bee that we're going to be putting in this general vicinity. Hello, Mary. It is an absolutely gorgeous paper pumpkin. I agree. Again, I'm just going to put the adhesive in the middle. I'm going to stick him down, and then I'm going to lift up his wings. and put Stella on them. Also, we're not quite done yet because we have the sentiment to put down, but I am going to come in with the Stella right away. All right, then we have on the back of our sentiment, we have 3 dimensionals and some glue dots. I am going to follow Stampin' Up's lead on the directive here to put glue dots on the back of the vellum, just because vellum is a finicky little one. I don't know if vellum adheres great with liquid glue or not, and I just don't want to risk it. So I'm just going to listen to what they have to say and put the glue dots on. One thing about vellum is it is see-through. So in using vellum, you want to be cognizant of where you're putting the adhesive, no matter what kind of adhesive it is, because you can see it. Now, with this being layered behind a sentiment, it's less important because it's going to get covered up in most places, but we do still want to make sure that we're not being crazy with the adhesive that it shows. So stick that down relatively at the base of the flower bud and halfway through this leaf over here. Go ahead, grab the dimensionals off the back of your sentiment and stick that on. And you have a simply stunning card. Very simple, very quick and easy, but very, very beautiful. I love, 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 love the torn edges here. Paper tearing was real big in my first rendezvous with Stampin' Up. I've been involved with Stampin' Up for a very long time, and I remember tearing the paper was a technique from back in the day, and so it's one that I've always loved, maybe haven't always used, but have always loved, so I'm glad to see that making a resurgence. All right, so there is card number 2, which means we're gonna bring in our card base that looks like this. Hello, Elaine. Thank you so much for joining. This is going to be our 3rd and final card. Spoiler alert, I don't yet know what I'm going to do with the alternative, but I do know that I'm not going to waste the back of card. Trim this because I likely can very nicely use this for my alternative. And then I'm going to bring in, you could do either a basic white to match the daisies, or you could do a lemon lolly, which is what I'm assuming the color of that is. It's not listed. Lemon lolly is not listed as a coordinating color, but I'm gonna grab it just to show you that I think that would be a very nice color to add as the card base. Thank you so much. Yes, Elaine, the reminder to click the like button and thumbs up, and always subscribe if you have not yet subscribed to our channel. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, I brought all of the options just so that I could show you. Okay, so this is Lemon Lolly. So definitely brighter than what we're working with. This is very vanilla. So that's a great option. Or basic white. So whichever you like the best is what I suggest you use. I think I'm going to use very vanilla. All right, so go ahead, burnish that, and then I'm going to also bring in my trimmer. And these are pre-scored, so you can just cut down the score line. Now this piece I will probably be using for my alternative. I love how this has an edge-to-edge look, and I don't want to change the look of the card. So I'm going to do nothing other than cut it and glue it on. So let me get my liquid glue. We'll get that adhered to the card base. Okay. That seems to be pretty dry. Okay. Basically, now we're starting our card. I do like to be conservative with our paper because it's so pretty and it's not going to detract from the card by not having it on the back. So there, I brought in one piece of cardstock and it's going to give me more longevity on my cards. Okay, now to the actual card. Sweetest birthday wishes. Grab your stamp, the other one, so we are down to the last banner. This is the more squared banner. Okay, 4 options. You only need 3 of them. Woo! Juicy. Okay, clean up your stamp. Then put your stamp away. It's always helpful. Okay. trim off the little harried edges. And then, okay, so this is getting adhered straight onto the card, either using glue dots or liquid glue. Going to go right in this section where all of the leaves converge. Okay, perfect. We have one bee and all of our loose flower pieces. So there's a lot of them. All right, we are also going to bring in 2 of the honeycomb lattices. Now, following the lead of the instructions, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of each of them. So this flower with the triple leaves, triple petals, I should say, is going to get 3 dimensionals. 1 on each of the triple petals and 1 on the center of the daisy. Okay? Then this daisy, that's half of a daisy. Maybe. Oh, come on. Okay. So it's half, it's got the flower head and then the petals hanging down, is going to have 1 dimensional just in the flower head. Okay. We have another half daisy. We're going to put the dimensional in the flower head. Then we have this jumbo daisy. This is instructed to only have 1 dimensional in the center. I am going to add additional dimensionals because I don't want it to feel flimsy. So I'm going to put an additional 1 in the triple petal, and I think I'm even going to put 1 over in this vicinity. Basically, where there's a space large enough to conceal a dimensional, I'm going to take advantage of that. I think I'm going to do some additional ones on here as well. Not going to do that quite yet because I see we're going to be covering up the banner. So, well, no, that's on, that is not lifted up. So, okay, I'm going to pause on that for a minute. I might or might not do that. Trying to figure out which is which here. So I'm going to momentarily pause from what I'm doing and stick down some of these so that I can figure out what I have left. So there we have the half daisy and the half daisy. This half a daisy is going to go over here, so I am going to add some additional dimensionals on that. Probably going to snip some half ones. Put 1 in there. Put 1 in there. Dimensionals are relatively quite inexpensive, so I do not worry about how many of them I use. I just want to make sure that my card has some integrity. Okay, so this one is going to go on this daisy. Okay. Good thing to point out. If you want the daisy to completely cover the flower that's behind it, you're gonna want to make sure that your sweetest birthday wishes is not too high. So mine's not very much too high, but it is covering some of the word birthday. So I'm gonna have to fudge this because at this point that's not moving. And I'm going to need to put this up just a smidge, and that's going to peak a little bit of the daisy that's behind it. It's not terrible, but you definitely want to plan ahead and make sure that that's glued down in an appropriate space that it doesn't get too covered. Okay, then we have the large daisy with the triple petal. That is, well, the double triple petal. That's going to go down here, which means the ones that I have left. Okay, so we have this large daisy goes here. Now I have 2 left. So this one appears to go here. Perfect. So put it in the middle. Which would mean this one goes right here. Okay. So this is very tight because I moved this up just a smidge, and even then we are barely skirting by this daisy down here. So when you are putting this together, you definitely want to be careful about where you place that birthday wishes. Ah, that one's a little too big. Okay. Now we got all the dimensionals off the back. And here I forgot that I need to put the honeycombs on. You guys, doing our best here. Okay, so this honeycomb was supposed to be tucked up under there, and this one's supposed to be tucked up under there. So here's a preference thing. Granted, yes, I definitely forgot to put these down there. But if they were stuck on the back of the dimensionals, they wouldn't be all that adhered. So I'm just going to put a smidgen of liquid glue on the back. Another way you could do this is to put liquid glue on a sponge dauber and kind of use that to get glue on the back here. And then I'm going to sneak it under. And I'll bring the other one out, do the same. Teeny tiny little dots. I am using a reverse tweezer. Handy little tool. Okay. Last but certainly not least, we have the bee. The bee is getting stuck down on the triple petal. Somewhere down in this vicinity. Lift up his legs, haha. Lift up his wings if you prefer. And then bring in your Stella. This is a bonus. All right, there you have it. That is card 3 of 3. I'm going to clean up my mess just a smidge so I have room to show you all 3 cards. Ouch! I hit my funny bone. It's funny how that's not real funny. Okay, sweetest birthday wishes. We have, where did I put them all? Oh, there they are. Thank you for always being there for me. I seriously have stickiness. And then enjoy your special day. Which one is your favorite, if you have a favorite? Oh, man. This is always so difficult. I love the detail of the last one that we did, but my absolute favorite is this spotlight one. So stinking cute. Who knows, my new favorite might actually be the alternative that we are yet to make. We'll see. Speaking of the alternative, it's about time we make something like that. So let's push these off to the side as our inspiration. I am going to take another piece of Very Vanilla and this piece that we salvaged from the last card we made. You like the middle the best, and Mary loves them all. I agree, they are all very nice, but yes, Jeannie, my favorite would also be that middle one. Okay. The other thing, not impressed with the blue one. Yeah, it's different. I like the color scheme, but it's not my favorite either. It's still a beautiful card. I'd be happy to send it to someone, but I can see where you're coming from. Okay, so another thing I like to do when it comes to my alternatives is I do like to butcher up some envelopes. So I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be using any of these, but I did want to have them in my space so I could potentially be inspired by them. I have a rogue piece of hair that's just flying around. Okay, so I am going to bring in my cutter and I'm going to score my bonus card base. Oh, that's not the right place to score it. I'm having a thought. I'm not going to score this yet. I'm going to score it at 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, I think. Make a gatefold card. Huh, we did it. I'm not sure that this is exactly the kind of fun fold I wanted, but it's not wrong. Okay. I'm also going to then trim down this. I think I'm going to only trim off, instead of a 1/4, I'm going to start with an 1/8. Which then means, okay, you guys, math is really kicking my booty right now. So then I think I need 2 inches. Ooh. And 2 inches, that's 4. Well, actually, here's, oh no, that doesn't, how did that fit? Okay. So if I did just to not 2 1/8, I think it's 2 inches. It's gonna be 2 inches. If not, we'll just trim top and bottom to make it fit appropriately, because yeah, that's too much. Oops. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Hey, that looks pretty perfect. So 2 inches for each of the panels here. We will adhere these down. So for those of you following along, our card base is very vanilla. It is cut at 8 1/2, which is not a cut, that's the size of the paper, by 5 1/2. And then it's scored in at 2 1/8 and 2 1/8. And then the pieces of the card base that we salvaged are cut at 5 1/4, 5 3/8, correction, 5 3/8 by 2 inches. And of course, we need 2 of them. Okay. So there is our card front. I'm looking at the stamps that we have. Okay, I am likely gonna have to run down to the Hive to grab a couple of things. I'm just trying to put my brain together on what I all need and want, so I don't need to run multiple times. We're gonna start. You know what? Correction. Well, this just became really good. Okay, I may not be using the envelopes. And if you guys know me, you know that I always use the envelopes. Okay, where is my scrap paper? Right, but I actually really like the contrast that gives. Who knew? Who knew? I am going to grab the stamp. I might be able to not run. We'll see here, guys. Okay, I grabbed a lot of things. So, we'll see. Definitely not hazel black for now. Definitely not hazel black for now. Lemon Lolly, which I know we already decided is too bright, but I think I'm going to, wow, that is definitely bright. I think I'm going to stamp off. So let's bring this. I'm going to attempt to use this large stamp. Which is very sticky, so I will stamp that off. You guys, my box elder bug is back. It's making a lot of flying noises. Sorry, it scared me. Thing is he? Ah! Okay, all right. We're not paying attention. Okay. Ah! Okay. We're just gonna pause our card making for just a hot second. Remember when I said I was scared, but not scared of the box elder bug? I don't know if it's dying. Sometimes I feel like critters and insects get real chaotic when they're dying. It just had the zoomies and it was flying. There's a gazillion lights above me. And it was flying around the lights, very like zzz. It's at it again. I don't know if you can hear that. Well, anyways, it just plummeted down in between my eyeball and my glasses. So if you heard me shriek, that's why. Still bringing my blood pressure down. Holy Toledo. Anyways, they are just gross. Yeah. You're not wrong, Mary. You're not wrong. Also, I'm not positive if it's a box elder, but it's a bug of that stature. Okay, I'm gonna definitely squish it. Oh, good gracious. We're having fun. Okay, anyways, back to the card making. So, I have it inked up. I'm going to stamp off, because that is very aggressively yellow. And then I want to spritz it. But I don't seem to know where my Stampin' Spritzer is. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of water on my fingers, maybe, and flick it.
Okay,
There's my
so we're
arm.
back live, and I'm gonna watch over here to see.
And I'm still coloring.
Yep. We never ended the stream over here.
If it comes back into play.
Yep.
Hey, on YouTube, it's.
You are coloring on here.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Okay, we learned something.
Well, we experimented.
Yes.
We learned that with Gina.
Perfect.
Okay, so now if this ever happens again, end it, but don't stop the recording.
Hi, friends.
We're back. Yeah.
You have not seen me for the past 10 or 15 minutes. You probably thought the stink bug got me, but it didn't. We just were having technology issues, and now we're back. I just kind of like, yeah. Hi. Oh, look at that. Hi. So I continued to color and whatnot, and then we got a brilliant worked.
It
so
worked.
we liked when that happens.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I think all you missed was, let's see here.
Tigger, be
Okay.
careful.
So I took this scrap, which was out of the spotlight, and we're still buffering though.
You're buffering?
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a mess,
Keep going.
but nothing's going down there.
The camera.
There we go. Kinda.
Tigger, buddy.
Okay, so we're kinda, Okay, so we're gonna try to stop.
No, we're gonna talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, so anyways,
I'm gonna undo
I
this.
took the scrap that came out of the spotlight.
There you go.
I pulled it out. You could always use just a piece of basic white and a dye, but what I did was I took this because, we're trying to just be frugal here, and we're trying to use what we have. And I took the stamp from the bonus stamp set, which is this honeycomb textured kind of thing, and I didn't know what color I should do. So what I ended up using was, I took the
Okay.
Lemon Lolly.
Where is this thing? Okay, I'm gonna go turn the heat
I
off.
stamped it off. Then I spritzed some water on it. And I think that was all part of what you guys saw before things went a little awry. So I spritzed some water on it, and then I stamped it down, and I let it dry. And it's just got this beautiful watercolor texture and tone to it. And it's super light, which is exactly what we were going for, because I'm trying to marry it with this color scheme of like very vanilla and crushed curry-ish tones. And it just wanted a little bit of subtle texture on it. So that's what we did. And then I stamped the other stamp in here, which is the daisy with the leaves. Oh, it's a daisy. I could leave it white. We'll just see. So I'm using the Granny Apple Green light and dark blends. And I'm just going to try to blend up this coloring in the leaves. So I basically followed the veins in the leaves with the light Granny Apple Green, and then I brought in some of the dark along the tips. Now there's not a ton of space to be working with the blending in here, so I probably won't get real variation in tones, but we're just gonna color it. Kind of no stress, no pressure. This is, oh, it is dark. Okay, so maybe if I dabble a little bit of this into there. So you can see here how this leaf looks a lot better than these leaves. And let's see maybe if I can zoom in a smidge. Put that right up in there, and now I'll color up there. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so I put light down along the veins, and then dark along the edges. And now I'm going to bring the light back to try to marry the two together. Spoiler alert, I have not used blends in a really, really, really long time. So I am not practiced on this at all. So my quote unquote technique, if I have any, really doesn't exist much anymore. Switch back to the dark and probably just kind of tap in a little bit of the darker color in a couple of spaces. If this is very intimidating to you, or if you don't have the blends, you can always use any form. You could use what I actually started trying to do. You could use the blender pens, you could use the aqua painters. There's lots of options for how to color these. Kind of what you have, what you're comfortable with, anything goes. Good morning! So Maria, you caught us at a real good time. Yes, the replay will show you all of the cards that we made for the kit. Then it gets a little dicey in there. So don't feel bad if you fast forward a little bit. We had a little technical internet issues. And so you might notice a little bit of break in coverage, but don't worry, alas, we do come back. Okay, so I'm going to grab the dark Granny Apple Green one more time and put a couple more dark tones in a few places. That one actually worked pretty good. Now, I need to find some yellow to put in the middle, and I am going to do daisies, so I am not going to use the blues. The thing with stamping blends is I never know what colors I should use, so I always grab a lot of them. I don't know. Are those it? So we have light lemon lolly, dark lemon lolly, and dark daffodil delight. It appears as though the light daffodil delight might not be over there. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dark lemon lolly in the center, and then the light lemon lolly over here. My stink bug is back. And then I brought a couple brown colors. So this is dark crumb cake, dark and light pecan pie. I'm going to start with the dark crumb cake, and I'm just going to add a couple dots of darkness where the black tones are. Okay. And then I'll bring back the light lemon lolly to maybe smudge it in a little bit. I don't know. And I think I might do one more dose of dark lemon lolly. That's dark daffodil delight. That is not the same. And in the middle, I'll put a little more darkness in the middle. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. Okay, I also brought in some, let's see here, dark smoky slate. Oh, light crumb cake, okay. That's what I probably should have done instead of the dark crumb cake. Light gray granite, dark gray granite. So I have dark and light smoky slate and dark and light gray granite. I want to add a little bit of shading on the like petals of the flowers, but I'm scared. So I'm going to start by using the light versions of the smoky slate and gray granite. I'm going to try to keep my head out of the frame. Put it just around the center and maybe a little bit up some of the contour lines. Maybe like that. So I don't know. Do you think that looks better than the all white? That is for you to decide. I'm also going to bring in the white, which is not white. This is a color lifter. That's just going to help me push the color around a little bit. Kind of soften it some. I think I used light smoky slate. We'll do the same on this one, just a smidge. A little bit up the contour lines. Okay, I'll bring the color lifter back in. We'll do just a smidge more blending here. Then we're gonna call that good. It does not look like these, but it looks all right. Okay, next is our all-time favorite, fussy cutting. Also, I'm gonna try not to zoom out, but we'll see if I can keep it in the frame. So, do your best with fussy cutting.
And you don't get cold easily.
You can send your cat back up here.
Your stink bug is on your back.
Okay, I wondered. I was gonna say, you can send your cat back up here to get that thing.
It's like...
I know. I know. Watch the replay. I shriek because it flew between my glasses and my eyeball.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Now that it's getting to be spring, they're coming out of the woodwork.
Literally.
They hide where batteries are in clocks a lot.
Oh.
Okay, I got rid of it.
Yay! You guys, it's gone.
Poor little guy. I know. Tyler hates killing. They're called soldier beetles, actually. They're actually really good
Yeah, they
for
probably
the environment,
are.
and they kill the bad things, apparently. But I'm not a fan of them in my
They don't need
house.
to be in the house.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's
That's okay.
something about this room that they've always... I found one in the clock when I changed the battery one.
Oh,
it was
my
hibernating in the
goodness.
clock. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Well, he was cheap entertainment for
Oh,
our
you're
show.
buffering again.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because I came up here and I'm on the Wi-Fi. I just
don't-
turned myself off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's been a little finicky all day, all morning. Okay. Fussy cutting, our favorite thing to do.
Huh?
Especially when people are watching you, right?
Right. So, sometimes, don't mind me, I'm going to press this button here. I'm
You're
going to try
good.
not to end this. Oh, it says switch Wi-Fi. So is it... It says your Wi-Fi appears to be dropping video data. Switch to reinforced Wi-Fi. Let's try that. Like, what can it hurt, right?
Right?
And you're frozen. Hang on. Your mom's calling.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm right next to her. We're working on it. Oh, okay, bye. Your mom's... And then it's there. See, now it's working. Okay. Let me just... I got it all messed up.
Oh, you're fine. No, you gotta zoom on this one. Oh, you... What?
I zoom right... Is that what's happening? Like, you zoom right here. Are you
I zoom on that one.
Oh, man. I wouldn't. That's more finagling. Like,
Oh.
I would always zoom. Look at this learning.
Yeah.
Like, I always zoom right here.
Oh, interesting.
On either camera that you're on, you can zoom like that.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's super cool. All right, we're getting it back, guys. Thanks. Oh, no, I got Kelly's head in there really good.
When I can move my...
You can move your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just trying to get it so that
You're all good.
the thing is straight. I like it to look straight. And then we go like that. Okay, we'll let it be like
This
that.
is the best time for it to be happening because no one wants to watch the fussy cutting anyways.
And it's still doing its thing. It's still fuzzy on here. So crazy. We're gonna take it off. We're gonna put it back.
Oh boy.
And then we're gonna put it back here. And maybe that will help. Yeah, you're back now.
Woohoo!
All I did was disconnect the phone and reconnect it, and then it caught the signal again, maybe. So,
Well, guys, all you missed was some fussy cutting. We have one fussy cut. Now, I didn't know if I needed two to begin with. So we'll figure that out before I fussy cut another one.
okay, you're back.
I'm back.
I can see you live, so. All right.
I feel like I'm probably gonna need a second one, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. I also need to figure out what sentiment I need. Okay, so I've got that.
I
got
took Tina's
this.
entertainment away.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Wishing you brighter days ahead. Thank you for always being there for me. I like that one, I think. Maybe, baby. Thank you for always being there for me. I think I'm gonna stamp that in black. Do you want to bring me any amount of embellishments or ribbon that you think might go with this?
How about I have this? I bet you could use this scrap up.
Perfect. That seems to match pretty well.
Like to play with that one. Here's a bag of fun, maybe. There's some goldy stuff. Here's some gold thread.
Perfect.
Here's some open weave ribbon, and I have the best embellishment of them all.
Yay,
The
baby
bees.
bees.
The baby bees.
I'm a fan. We can make that happen.
I also have some of these guys that would be really pretty potentially. Some Goldilocks.
Ooh. I like it.
Okay.
I'm sure we can make that work.
Here, that's pretty too.
Where did, oh, here we go.
I bet you can work with any of that.
I bet that'll do it.
Perfect. Wonderful. It's hot up here. Holy Moses.
Okay, thank you for always being there for me.
I'm gonna open the window for you.
Sounds good. So I'm thinking that's gonna go there-ish. Also, we want it straight. That's helpful. Okay.
So
I'm going to want to adhere it to one side. I don't want to do a belly band. Sorry, guys, not my intention here.
You know what? You need a Velcro dot.
I should have a Velcro dot.
Next time I go downstairs, I'll get a Velcro dot. But that would be cool to like close it on the
That
right
would be
hand
really
side.
great. Yeah, I'm planning on adhering it on the left-hand
Yep,
side.
and then we'll get a Velcro
I'm
dot.
about to make some sticks, make it stick, which means I'm committing. So that's always the scariest part in either designing or in making alternatives, is committing to what you have in front of you.
That's why you use non-committal dots. The glue dots. That's
Well,
why.
I'm just about to use dimensional, so that's committing.
That's committing.
That's making a lifelong commitment. Scary.
You're connecting two pieces of paper together
Yes.
for the rest of their life. That's called a match made, a bond.
Yeah, we are making a forever bond.
I mean, it can be a race with a racer, but let's not go there.
Oh, that is not straight. Oh, goodness. Speaking of straight, we need to make sure that I'm, like, on the right part of this here. And we need some in the middle, too.
They're making progress on the MS cards. We currently have
Oh!
300 kitted up, so 2 of the 6 cards are kitted up already.
Wow, you guys. Okay, so happening live in another part of the hive, not this part. We are kitting up cards for the MS benefit. So very exciting. Ooh, look at that. I did it a little blind and it worked. So that's a beautiful thing. Have some rogue adhesives. Okay, great. Now, that is stuck. I want to add this floral-y thing down in this region. I have more rogue adhesive. Don't ask from what. I don't really know. Just deciding if I want, I think I want more ooh, look it. You always know a job well done on blending is when you can see it in the back. So
Yep.
I do remember that from the last time I blended, which I was telling them was a very long time ago. I can't even remember when the last time I used blending was.
Looks like you're okay. You're not spinning.
Think we got it.
I hope so. Yes. You woke up like another kitten because we opened up the window.
Oh, good.
Hunky's here, so he might be jumping up by you.
Well, don't worry. Again, watch the replay. One of the cats, I don't know which one, scared the living bejeez out of me because that was back when
That was bigger
the stink bug was harassing me. So I thought it was the bug coming after me, but it was just a cat. Cats aren't scary. Bugs can be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
give it that. Hi, Melanie.
It's called Keeping It Real, Kelly.
Oh my, this was a real one. Okay, I'm also going to be putting, I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. I'm going to be putting a double stack of dimensional behind this daisy because she's hanging on for dear life, and I like things to be properly adhered. I want the card to have some integrity. So I'm going to put a double stack back there.
The card base is from the paper pumpkin, right?
So we've got a card base made out of very vanilla, and then the piece of DSP is from the back of one of the cards from the pumpkin. I cheated and I salvaged it.
Okay, cool. Because Melanie Foy just asked, and I tried to answer that.
Yes.
What you just said.
There you go, Melanie. So I will show you right now. It's on my side pile over here. That is very much just a conglomeration of everything. So basically, this was the back. Actually, it was probably I don't know. One of these, it was probably this way, was the back of this. And what I did was I cut it down the seam and adhered this card front to a very vanilla back. And then I grabbed another piece of very vanilla and I cut this and made a fun fold out of it. So, yay! It's very cute. I love it. Also, I'm finding all of the sources of my random adhesive. Adhesive erasers are great if you've never used them before. They are kind of the lifeblood of my crafting room. Okay, so we kind of are getting it together over here. Now we just need to make it pop. Also, I need to put something on the inside here, which is probably going to be a piece of... Let's just make it happen. I need to get my cutter out. You're welcome, Melanie. Thank you for asking. Because... Okay, yes, it was stated earlier, but I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're coming in late, like some of you have, you missed a lot of fun, and I don't really know what all got documented versus not, because we were having some technology issues. So some of it might have all been lost in cyberspace. Okay, so we have 4 1/4, which I'm actually going to cut down to 4. And then 5 1/2, which is going to become 5 1/4. This is going to be our mat for the inside. And before I stick it in, I should stamp it with, I don't know what yet. So let's see here. Stay away, kitty cat. Thank you for always being there for me. So do we have a sentiment for the inside? I don't exactly know what this might or might not be used for. None of the sentiments, like I might be a thank you card, but I don't know for sure. There's also a hello, and there's also every other inside that you could get from your own stamping arsenal. So I'm probably not going to commit to a sentiment at this point in time. However, I probably will stamp this in the corner and probably a B on the inside. Oh man, I'm about to have some fun. Okay, it does, Melanie. It matches very perfectly with Very Vanilla. I do think I was filming without issue when I showed it with basic white, Very Vanilla, and Lemon Lolly, because off the cuff I thought Lemon Lolly was going to be the best match, but it wasn't. It was a little too dark. However, it could have worked. So I ended up going with the Very Vanilla. Okay, so we're going to stamp a flower. Oh, so pretty. I'm a fan. We're also going to stamp a bee, and I'm going to show off some of the stamps in here, which I'm pretty sure we're going to stamp this in. I'm going to stamp several of these actually. I don't know how many I'm going to use, but we'll... Okay, so stamp that down in Memento. And then, hello, Feline. Feline. Sorry, I struggle with that sometimes. Chris, I think, is back to her not saving the world from stink bugs and technology errors, but she'll see this eventually. Yeah, I'm thinking thank you might be the best sentiment for this, but who knows? I might just stamp imagery, and then whomever gets this card could go ahead and make it whatever they want it to be. Oh goodness, I don't know. I don't know which stamps came from which sheet at this point in time. But I'm gonna grab this, which I think layers on here to add some yellow body. And then I'm going to add the wings, which I think will layer over perfectly. So I'm going to use Lost Lagoon. because that is what came with this kit, I'm going to stamp off because I have a feeling that's going to be pretty bright. And then I'm going to hover over, excuse my hair, and fill that in. That looks incredible. Oh, so cute. Okay, so we put some Lost Lagoon at 2nd strength for the wings. Of course, you could use any color. Balmy Blue at 1st strength probably would be a very nice color for the wings as well. And then I'll take that off and grab the body. Now, the color that you use for the bee is up to you. I have Lemon Lolly close by, so that is probably what I'm going to use. And I'm probably going to do it at 1st strength. Again, excuse the hair. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Okay, do all of them and then I can show you what we got going on. I missed the bum. There we go. Okay, so I'm loving the Lemon Lolly and all of the colorful details that I just added to the bee, but now it makes it look like I need to do that. So now I'm gonna color again. Oh, you guys, this has become quite a project, and not even just because of the coloring and all that stuff. It's kind of been more to do with my circus friends, my kitty cat and my stink bug and all that good stuff. So bear with me. Also, if you're tuning in to the replay, I hate to say this, but if you want, you could just skip to the end. Okay, I'm gonna do one more thing because I'm having way too much fun at this point. I'm gonna grab the honeycomb and with my Lemon Lolly, I'm gonna add some honeycombs. Look at that. It's so cute. I'm having way too much fun.
I can tell. That's good.
At this point, I'm like just majorly committed to this card because it's been with me through thick and thin.
Looks like you're frozen.
Not here.
Oh, thank goodness. I didn't see anything while I was there.
Well,
You weren't in the
I was
camera.
off screen for a second.
Oh, you had me worried.
I know. It is very... We're on a delicate balance here. Look at how cute the bee looks.
Oh, it's adorable.
It is, and it comes with all the stamps to color it in. Oh,
Is that what that one stamp was?
yes, it's the body and the wings.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Okay, so I need yellow, which is the Lemon Lolly for that. I need the Granny Apples for the leaves.
Or Old Olive.
Or Old Olive. I did use Granny Apple for the outside though, so we'll stay consistent. And then light
This is a... That's
smoky slate.
You got the Granny. This is light Granny. You got a light Granny.
I do. Yep. Okay, so we're back to coloring. Oh, and I also needed the crumb cake.
The cakes with the crumb. The crumb's the
Yes.
cake.
This time I'm going to try the light one because I found it this time. So we'll see if that works any better. So we're going to start with... I'm going to annotate what I'm doing because, well, you see here, I'm not real sure that even half of what I was doing in the coloring before came over just because of all of the fun we were having. So I'm going to start with a circle of dark Lemon Lolly in the middle. Then I'm going to take the light Lemon Lolly and start from the outside, blending it in. I'm also going to take the light crumb cake with the pen tip side, and I'm going to just cover up the contour spots. And actually, that did not show up real much. So I will go back to my dark crumb cake. If history repeats itself, this should show up quite a bit. So I'm going to try to stay real tight to the contour lines in there. Then come back with the light lemon lolly, kind of just feather them out. And then last but not least, I did bring back in just a smidge of extra dark lemon lolly in the middle. Okay, so that takes care of the center of the flower. Then we're gonna do light granny apple green. And what I did was I went down the middle. I feel like this was not the same color that it was on the outside. Yeah, that looks much more greeny. What other markers do I have over here? Dark granny apple, light granny apple. Is this light one any different? Well, that's a bad tip. Oh yeah, okay, so either this is mislabeled or something, but that does not even look like the same. Light granny apple, and I had a light granny apple over here. So that one might be dying. Not quite sure. Okay. Then we are going to go with the dark granny apple. And what I did was I took the pen tip and okay, well, now these look to be the same. I'm struggling, guys. Basically, here's my suggestion. If you are going to be using or like making something just like this, okay, so yeah, these seem to be flip-flopped. Color them all at the same time, because then they will look the same. That would be helpful. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make this set of leaves all this color, whatever mystery color this color is, because it says light granny apple green, but it looks exactly the same as the dark granny apple green. I don't know. It's a mystery. I'll bring in the other dark granny apple. Yeah, I think I'm being skunked. Also, sorry, I pulled it close to me. Okay, then we are going to bring in the light smoky slate, and I'm just going to add a smidgen of color where the petals intersect the center, and then bring it up the contour lines a little bit too. And then the last thing, the last thing I did on the other card, or the outside of the card, I should say, is I went ahead and used the color lifter to kind of soften it. So this is not white per se in the, like, using the thought pattern that white is not really an ink, but it does help by, I'm guessing it's just kind of an alcohol solution in here that helps soften the color. Okay, well, there we go. Now it's done. And even though I don't have anything stamped in here, I probably won't. I'll just put this in here. I'm probably not even gonna glue it because let's say the person who receives this wants to write in it, you probably don't even want to like have that pressure. So I'm just going to let it hover in there, and then once it's written in, it can get glued in. So there, that's the inside. Now we're back to this. And I have a variety of different embellishments and ribbons that I can use. So we'll see what seems to fit best. I think those are my best options. I also have a couple baby bees over here. The problem with the bees are they need to be fussy cut. And the problem with that is these little leggies are tiny. So I think we're just gonna do our best and not fret too much about it. Oh goodness. Fussy cutting really helps you build an appreciation for dies. We are spoiled with dies and die cutting. I remember when dies first came on the scene, and dies have come a long way, for sure. There are so many intricacies that dies accomplish now. But I remember thinking, oh, that's not gonna stick. Like, that's just, but no, it stuck. And you know what? There's a reason for it. Oh, that's awesome. So I agree. I love paper pumpkins so much, Feline. And it just is so great to have that opportunity to, I mean, they fill in a lot of needs, either quick and easy, or having the opportunity to craft with someone who's not crafty, or having that bonding experience with, like you said, your grandkids. I just love it. And I have done some paper pumpkin kits with my own kids before. Not often, but sometimes. And it's really fun to be able to share that passion with them. And honestly, kids love it because it is a way to make something beautiful and it's not challenging. So yeah, that's awesome that you get to share that with her. Okay, so here's the thing. I said I was not going to worry too much about fussy cutting, and then I went ahead and fussy cut very intricately. This card is a labor of love. Okay. Can we say that that's good? All right. I feel like I want it down here, but I'm not certain of that yet. I might want a second one, but again, I'm not certain of that yet either. Okay, I'm going to put a dimensional behind it just so that it hovers in place until I decide whether or not it's staying there. So here's the deal. This is the same graphic, just one of them is a stamp and one of them is the watercolor laser cut. That is way easier. There's that. Okay, so I want to put some ribbon. I think I want to put some ribbon. So many options. I feel like I'm going to go with this one. The wild wheat is pretty in its own way. I also love the texture to it. So there's a lot of different yellow tones in this card. It's not right or wrong. It doesn't necessarily bother me. We could do a rat's nest of gold. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll try that. Oopsies. I'll trim it about there. Clearly not the best way to be holding my scissors. There. Okay, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of with what I'm about to do is you'll see the back of it. So we'll see what I end up doing about that. Going to start by placing a semicircle of tear and tape. And then I'm going to just do some loops. I don't really know exactly what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm just trying to put some texture down. Let's see here. At some point I should flip it over and see if I like it. Very good. Okay, then I'm going to cover that up with some more tear and tape. And I could also go ahead and cover this whole thing up with a half semicircle. I probably will do that because then none of this is exposed. Because when you open the card, you will see that, and I don't love that. But I do like how it looks over here. You could put the bee. No, I think I like the bee down here. I'm gonna stick the bee. Is that a really bad idea? Nah. The bee has to be. Haha, the bee has to be. Haha. Now, before I do any other embellishments, I'll put a couple teeny tiny baby bees. I love the baby bees. They're so cute. Really ties in well with the gold thread that I chose, so I'm glad I did that. So we'll put one bee there. Not sure if I'm going to put more bees. I think I might switch to these. Thank you to everyone who tuned in and stuck around for the long haul. I'm a fan of this card, and it seems as though it was worth it. Okay, we'll put just a couple more. The thing with me and embellishments is I never know when to stop. Okay, Stella on the wings. Could turn up the wings like we did on the other cards. I want to put Stella on the daisy too. for that intent, we may as well Stella on the inside. Wow, I like it. Okay. I think that that might be done, other than, I know I said I need to, is this the right size? It can be. Okay, so I'm going to trace, actually it's not, it is this size. I'm going to trace this circle. I'm going to try to trace this circle. I'm not positive that I have a writing utensil up here. That worked. That might have been one of my crazier ideas, but it actually worked. So I only need part of this circle, but I basically just kind of scored this circle. Which would be a lot easier had you had access to any sort of writing utensil. So do that instead. But basically go ahead, cut this out. And now when you're making this card, you're going to put this on there before you even do any of this. So it can be stuck behind. But I think what I'm going to do, if this is close enough to a complete circle, I might just stick it like this. It's good enough. Okay, so to do that, I am going to... Where am I have a big mess, you guys. I'm going to put some dimensionals here because this is on a dimensional layer. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm glad you are enjoying it. Okay, so just to finish this up, I am going to stick this with my liquid glue, which is hiding somewhere. This is why you put your things back where they belong before you need to find something that you lost. We're gonna put that on there. Now you hit all of the nastiness. And I think we're done, guys. I know this has been like to be over. A little bit of sarcasm there because this has been a crazy ride. Let me clean up my mess so you can see what we all made. And then, okay, so this, like I said, would get glued in there once you've written on it. Like Chris said, this would be perfect for a Velcro dot right there. Great. 10 out of 10 would recommend that. I'm not going to run down because you guys have already put up with a lot of craziness, but great idea there. Okay, so here is the alternative, by the way. So we've got the back of the card that we salvaged, and then the rest of it was either scrap from the kit or using the stamps from the kits. And then here's the inside. Of course, if you don't like mixing white with vanilla, you could have absolutely stamped this on a vanilla and just had tone on tone. That's your call. I liked adding the white because the circle was white and there's other bits of white all over the place. So it didn't bother me. Okay, so there is that. Now, it's a scavenger hunt to find all the rest of the cards. Really? I don't know where I put them. Oh, here's another one. Found them. All right, so here is your March 2025 paper pumpkin kit and the alternative that I made from it. If you do purchase this kit or the add-on kit or anything, you will be able to make 3 of these cards using the back of this card, if that is your prerogative. Similarly, you could do the same with these. However, these are just textured pieces, so they are less quote-unquote elusive. So I don't feel the need to do that, but this I just thought was way too pretty to let sit on the back of the card. Thank you so very much for tuning in and joining me on this wild adventure that we just had. I really appreciate it, and I love sharing this time with you. So, sending lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs your way. I pray that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of the week, and look forward to crafting again with you soon.